Okay, this video is milestones for 2026 so far. And the big one is the channel just got 6 million views. It's about time. Should have had that a long time ago. This channel's shadow banned, so it really deserves far more views than it gets. This channel, Dr. McDougall's channel, VegSource, 3 best health nutrition YouTube channels on the whole internet. I'm showing you here, this is the page for the playlist. If you're serious about learning, this is the highest value part of this channel. And there's tons of them. I got about 100 different playlists, all kinds of stuff. Of course, you know, each of my prevent and reverse disease books, you know, the sleep problems, the dental problems, back pain problems, whatever. I also got tons of book reviews, tons of other topics. You know, there's a playlist on plastic microparticles. There's a playlist on all kinds of different things. Each one of my books has a playlist. I didn't do the complete book, but I did a whole bunch of chapters from each of my books. And I think you'll just be amazed. This channel has about 4,000 unique videos, and it has another about 4,500 reruns. So by going to the playlist, you avoid the reruns, okay? Now I just want to show you, here's the 6 million views. It's about time. As far as the books, I've organized the books into series. And by series, for example, I have a series of books on prevent and reverse disease, because those are short books. They're usually about 150 to, well, some of them get up to 450 pages, but they're usually short books. Like they're short for topics like obesity, diabetes, hypertension, all the common diseases, atrial fibrillation, and I got about 11 or 12 of those prevent and reverse disease books. Then I have a nutrition series of books. These are all available on Amazon, and these are specifically about nutrition topics, okay? They're in addition to all the prevent and reverse ones, which are more like based on medical topics. Then I got a playlist of books on study skills, Underground Guide to Study Skills. These will really help you. They increase your academic IQ about 30 points. Lots of people could do far better in school. They just don't know what to do. Once you learn study skills, you're dramatically improved. It's a valuable thing to know. And I go through, you know, Underground Guide to Study Skills. Anybody can learn that from when you're starting as a kid. You can give that to a junior high kid. Straight A at Stanford and on to Harvard is more like for somebody going to grad school, to med school, or getting a PhD in a science field. How to Raise an IQ and Become a Genius is a book I wrote for parents to help them how to raise a kid, to develop the child's mind. Rhyme, Rhetoric, and Logic is how to write better. Okay. All right, and then the next thing is, well, actually, hold on a second. I missed a couple slides here. I accidentally skipped through some of these books here. I don't know how I did that. These are some of the individual books. Sorry, I'm zooming through these. So here's what I also made a playlist of videos on Western civilization. And this will be best Christian art, best of the West in art, movies, music, and books, the Holy Grail of wisdom quotes, best Christian songs. And I'm actually currently working on a couple other additions to that. Food, Mood, and IQ. I rewrote all the neurology, psychiatry, psychology books because the conventional neurology, psychiatry books, they stink. So I wanted people to know the truth. One of the ways I view myself in this channel is kind of part like Aristotle to summarize useful knowledge, part like Thomas Aquinas, that faith and reason must be present. You have to have Christian ethics to tell the truth in science, because all the money pays you to lie. And then also like the Irish monks, I'm making these books, whether anybody reads them or not, to keep the information available, because most of the true information in health and nutrition and culture is hidden from the public, okay? Medical Reformation, Vegan Renaissance Bible, that was a landmark Bible, and it's really funny. I've had medical students tell me it's the funniest medical book they ever read in their life. There's nothing like it. And they said this book is so outrageous it could never be allowed in a medical school. Because it makes fun of conventional medicine, because conventional medicine is a joke. Okay, here, Poor Man's Way to Fight Cancer. It's a real popular book, and I summarize all the stuff that's known outside of the conventional textbooks on how to get better outcomes in cancer patients. Okay, here's just sort of the typical books, you know, Prevent and Reverse Obesity, Prevent and Reverse Hypertension, Diabetes, Kidney Disease, Atrial Fibrillation, Congestive Heart Failure, Dental Disease, Autoimmune Disease, Chronic Fatigue Syndrome and Parkinson's Disease, Back Pain, Reversing Stroke and Heart Attack, The summary of the work of Dr. John McDougall, greatest doctor who ever lived. And here's some of the cultural books: Best of the West in Art, Movies, and Music, Best Christian Art, Best Christian Songs. And that's really a lot of the highlights of the channel. If you write a comment, please kind of keep it brief, or if it's going to be long, maybe separate it into 3 parts, because it's real hard for me to go through them. I try to go through them every day, but I got limited time. Let's see. Anyways, I try to provide good health information. This channel is not monetized. I do not have any sponsors. I do not promote any products. So I just try to tell you the truth. I work full-time as a conventional doctor. So I do this because I think it needs to be done. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to step up to the plate. The reason why I'll make books about art history is because I know the college professors stink. They're a bunch of wussies, okay? They sit there and pretend that modern art is the same as real art. That's nonsense. So the world needs people who come along and tell the truth. And that's also why I emphasize this is also a Christian channel, in the sense that Christian ethics say, do the right thing, tell the truth regardless of the money. And people need to do that, otherwise the truth will disappear, because the big money is always supporting lying. So you have to have something that gets you to tell the truth about stuff. And the history of Western civilization, it's beautiful, it's magnificent. The literature, the painting, the sculpture, the architecture, the music. I love all of it. It's the best. None of this multiculturalism BS. Other cultures, compared to Christian culture, they stink. They stink at painting. They stink at art. They stink at music. Okay, they stink at literature. That's just a fact. I mean, if you know otherwise, please post it in your comments, but I've been searching around for decades and I haven't found any evidence to the contrary. So anyways, I hope you find this channel helpful to help you learn, and I hope it helps improve your life.